When Bob hit that first ear-shattering chord, it was chaos. Everybody thought it was a real train. And I shouted, "He's done it. Oh God, he's finally done it. Bob Dylan has summoned a wonderful train, and it's coming to run me over." Music would never be the same again.
In the early 60s, Bob Dylan was it. All the boys wanted to be him, and all the girls wanted his precious guitar so they could sell it to their boyfriends for cash.
I still remember buying his first album, which was called I'm Bob Dylan, But What Is War? I played it nonstop.
Everyone loved how famous Dylan was, and the fact that he didn't know what war was. That changed in 1965 with his second album. I found out about war, and I'm in favor of it.
After Dylan learned about war, I started to doubt his loyalty to Woody Guthrie. We all suspected he had fallen under the sway of Woody Guthrie's enemy, Mecca Guthrie.
When the summer of 1965 rolled around, Lyndon Johnson went on TV at 4 in the morning one day and announced that it was time for a festival.
We showed up in Newport the next day, and it was on.
The band before Dylan was Professor Harmony and Friends. They played their famous folk ballad, Professor Harmony is Addicted to Smiling. I was hoping Dylan would bring more of the same.
Dylan's set defied all expectations.
He came out on stage without a shirt on, and we could see that there were electrical sockets where his nipples should have been.
Dylan whispered, "Let's find out what secrets the guitar has been hiding from us." Then he plugged 2 electrical cables into his nipples and strummed the loudest chord in history, which emanated directly from his body.
The music was absolutely deafening.
This wasn't the Bob Dylan who worshipped Woody Guthrie and didn't know about war. This was the new, electric Bob Dylan, and people were not happy about it.
People started booing. One guy even put his hands on his hips. It was an ugly scene.
After the song, I went up to Bob and told him that I thought it was stupid that he had gone electric. Steam power was clearly where the industry was headed. Then I gave him my prototype for a steam-powered harmonica, but when he blew on it, the metal was too hot and it fused permanently with his lips.
People were so worried about Bob Dylan's lips.
Someone must have called an ambulance, because an ambulance immediately fell out of the sky and landed on Bob Dylan.
The paramedics in the ambulance jumped out, put Bob Dylan's lips on a tiny stretcher, loaded them into the ambulance, and drove away.
Eventually, Bob Dylan got up and finished the set, but he just sounded different without his acoustic guitar and his lips.
I actually thought he sounded great, and now that his lips were gone, we could finally see his teeth.
I was happy to see those big, beautiful teeth of Bob Dylan, but I was sad that electricity had made his music loud enough to hear. Music sounds bad and should always be very quiet, like a pond or a dead mouse. Woody Guthrie said that.
Dylan made a controversial choice when he went electric, but I think it paid off. And his new lips look great.
It was a historic performance.